Kumar ji, who is the MD of Bihar State Building Construction Corporation Limited. Shri Shailesh Kumar Srivastav, who is the Technical Director NIC, Government of Bihar. And Shri Sanjeevan Sinha ji, who is the MD of Bihar State Education Infrastructure Development Corporation, Government of Bihar. And our industry speaker is Dr. Monisha Borthakur, who is the Principal Consultant of Management Consulting Services Infosys. She is just on the way, she is reaching any time. So I will invite the other panelists to kindly come on the dais. Atul ji, Ganga ji, Shailesh ji and Sanjeevan ji. And I will request Atul ji to drive this session. And Monisha will join when she comes here. And since one of the speakers is not here, I will take the liberty of joining this session here on the stage. So I will also join the panel here. Thank you so much. This state. So to start with, I will go to some of you and take your feedback on Bihar itself. So I have a eminent guest from Bengal who is like working on health and health IT. So why not you like introduce yourself and tell us what your organization is doing in Bihar?
Myself, Jayanto Basu. I am working with Glocal Healthcare System Private Limited. The organization is basically setting up of rural hospital across India. So this organization started in the year of 2010, and as of now we have already set it up 7 hospitals, in 5 hospitals in West Bengal, 1 hospital in UP, and another will be coming up tomorrow in Bengal itself. So 5 hospitals is right now up and running at this moment. And we are providing services. Services means healthcare. In healthcare, we are providing end-to-end solution. Like we set it up 100-bedded hospitals in rural area where the population is around 1 lakh or 1,50,000 population. We will catering this rural area mainly. And we have IT-based solution. We have developed on our own hospital management information system with a ERP. ERP means supply chain management is also included in this system. Also, we have developed one application that is brand name is Litmus DX. That is basically the decision support system to the doctors. And right now it is available on our hospitals at this moment. Bihar, we are right now setting up 3 hospitals, which is in Purnia, Bhagalpur and Muzaffarpur. Begusarai. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks for being here. Good to know that new initiatives and new things are happening. So Ganga ji of PPT is here. So may I invite you to be here, and Atul sir, please.
Good morning, fellow panel members and esteemed delegates from different IT organizations. Today's first session is a very interesting topic and very interesting discussion: transformation through e-governance. So, whereas the governance in Bihar itself is under chaos, and it is getting decided at the floor of the house, I think it is the right time and the best time to discuss how can we transform the governance in Bihar through e-governance. Shailesh wants to say something.
One small information we are giving: the live webcast of the Bihar Vidhan Sabha proceeding will be available to you on your mobile phones also. You can view from here also. The address is webcast.gov.in/BiharVS. You can view through mobile phone or on internet.
Hello.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. So this is a good and very, very live example of using e-governance and mobile governance for transparency in Bihar. I think it deserves a claps from the audience. Maybe that Vidhan Sabha proceedings are available on live on TV everywhere, maybe somewhere on internet also, but on mobile it may not be available in many states of the country, I believe. So I request my colleague, my friend, and Managing Director of Building Construction Corporation, Mr. Ganga Kumar, who himself is a very, very energetic officer and has taken series of initiatives and has almost transformed the building construction department into a very, very vibrant organization, Building the Construction Corporation into a very vibrant organization. And as such, he has used many of the electronic means for this transformation. And I invite Mr. Ganga Kumar to share with us his journey on this transformation path. Mr. Ganga.
So thank you. I think you have told more than what I exist for the today Bihar. And I will request all the audience and persons, please don't use mobile for whatever going to happen in Bihar. Otherwise, you will distract from the system, from the present situation, and you will be more concentrating on the Vidhan Sabha. So it's always better to be concentrate here, please. Yeah, thank you. Good morning. I hope. Thank you, ELETS. Thank you, Department of Information Technology, for inviting Bihar State Building Construction Corporation on this gala. Today, area of discussion will be what we consider, especially in the Bihar State Building Construction Corporation, the use of e-governance, and in general, and in particular, use of information and communication technology. Our most respected person of the country, and sometimes I consider it's a most respected leader of Mr. Ganga Kumar, Param Pujniye Abul Kalam Azad ji. I consider the e-governance the best governance, use of information technology in the governance system for making our system transparent and more authentic towards the system. E-governance, governance to citizens, governance to business, but in my corporation generally we try to consider mostly our work relating to business, the government to business, and sometime government to people also. Connectivity, e-governance, connectivity with the communication technology, connecting with the people, process, and all the whatever optimum resources we have available in any PSU, any government organizations, any system across the state. Stage age, where we, actually I will highlight my corporation's activities in last 2 years. Our corporation, it was just about to defunct in 2012. We had, the total project outlay was hardly 13 crore. Fortunately, we have already crossed 4,200 crore in last 2 years and 4 months. And the project and the annual expenditure has gone from 3 crore to more than 800 crore in a year, in last 2 years and 4 months. And after streamlining, as whatever I am trying to do in my corporation is several activities relating to use of information and communication technology. One of the core strategy for me, try to move from E mode to M mode. 1, 2, second, paperless corporation. For that we have requested the USAID and some other international organizations to examine the feasibility of paperless corporation in Bihar and moving towards E mode to M mode. For that, these are the 4 steps. We had to go up to the transformation, but still we have started interacting, and it has already reached up to the transaction level, and from there we will move. Of course, it will take time more than 6 to 8 months, but we are trying to move from 3rd step to 4th step. ICT, we all know, use of transparency, accountability on those, all the well-known system, well-known figures, why we need ICT in public sector. Linking, why I want to use ICT, governments, it's a linking system between the different departments, different corporations, peoples, society, public utilities, and most important, the citizen of the state, they can also see whatever activities we are undertaking in my corporation. Generally, at present, we are using 5 kind of initiatives in information and communication technology. One, financial transaction system, the retina-based financial transaction system, for which we are discussing the ICICI top brass, so that we should go, with the help of retina transaction system, we should cross the channel of gateway of ICICI Bank. It has already taken more than 4 months and we are still trying to finalize it, figure out. But hope within 2 months we will try to cross, because this will be the first of its kind in our country. E-monitoring system, project management information system, e-procurement system, that we will take care of the GFACT, Government Financing and Accounting System. Our colleague Mr. Sailesh is helping us all those kind of activities in my corporations. Fourth, GFACT system, and fifth, BSBCCL website portal. With the help of GPS and mobile tracking system, we are using all kind of physical and mostly financial progress also through the mobile tracking system. PMIS, we have already started using, and this we are going to coordinate with the GFACT, Government Financing and Accounting System, as well as the Project Management Information System. That will help us to upload MB and to the payment of individual contractors, to the individual vendors, service providers, well within time, real-time system. And of course, these four, five systems, that the green building and all those things we will take care for the project management information system. These, what we do in the e-procurement system, that will be finally the part of the government financing and accounting system. The ultimate objective of this system is to pay any contractor, vendor, suppliers on real time. These are our the government financing and accounting system. Everything we are linking on the real time, from the MB preparation, MB measurement, MB means the measurement book, MB updation, MD uploading, and interaction with the all persons, and accordingly the payment of the contractors, individuals through this website portal. These are some of the roles, different kind of persons. We have the DGM, GM, they have the different kind of roles that has already been assigned, and they are working. We have already started working on this. Of course, this is our website portal, which is the unique in Bihar. Any disabled people, any differently able people, they can utilize this website at any point of time. Some of the challenges that we have seen, of course, the mix of all persons, and some of the people, they might not be using all those sophisticated persons, so that is our main challenges. But we are trying to figure out, we are trying to solve all those problems so that we can move in these directions. Real-time data management system, paperless work environment, I hope we will get it done within 1 year. Everything we will move as per our corporation target, any more to made within 1 year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ganga. Thank you very much. You have all seen that even though Building Construction Corporation is a purely civil-oriented organization, but how effectively the e-governance and the m-governance can be used to enhance the efficiency of an organization, even though it's a civil-oriented organization. Therefore, we say that governance, electronic means of governance and mobile governance has got its application today in every wake of life, be it education, be it a civil infrastructure organization, be it hospital management, everything is today dependent on in some form or the other. Its efficiency is definitely dependent on governance, e-governance and m-governance. Now we have with us Ms. Dr. Monisha, Principal Consultant, Infosys. In fact, she is supposed to be the chair of this session. Ma'am, in your absence, I was given this temporary charge. I hand it over to you. I hand it over to you. Gracefully, I hand it over to you. And only Mr. Ganga Kumar was the first speaker. He has just spoken. And I believe Shailesh ji has also got a presentation. So.
Really sorry for the delay. Actually, there was this flight got delayed. We were told that it's raining in Patna, but it's sunny. I don't know. Yeah, we were told that way. So I request you, sir, to take over. You have already made, two presenters have already made a presentation. Okay. Okay. I request Shailesh to make his presentation.
Let me tell you a little bit about Shailesh. I'm tempted to put in few words. I cannot restrain myself putting in few words about Shailesh Srivastava. Friends, he is an icon of activities, e-governance activities in Bihar. Time immemorial, मुझे जब से याद आता है, मैं NIC को देख रहा हूँ, मैं शैलेश श्रीवास्तव को देख रहा हूं और सदैव एब्सोल्युटली एक्टिव, इन्वॉल्व इन क्रिएटिंग सम प्रोजेक्ट और द अदर, टायरलेसली वर्किंग. इतने सारे गवर्नमेंट वर्किंग में इतने सारे रेजिस्टेंसेस आते हैं, इतने सारे प्रॉब्लम्स आते हैं, विदाउट गेटिंग फ्रस्ट्रेटेड अबाउट दैट, keeps on discussing, sir ये problem हो गया, अब क्या करें, समझ में नहीं आता है, क्या करें. But then next morning again he is back on job. He has created several marvels in e-governance. आप इनके कभी आई भूगोल प्रोजेक्ट को कभी देखें, मुझे लगता है कि अभी बिहार सरकार में और बिहार के लोगों ने भी आई भूगोल के प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में ज़्यादा नहीं जाना है. इट्स अ नेशनल अवार्ड विनिंग प्रोजेक्ट एंड वो कितना यूजफुल हो सकता है हमारे गवर्नमेंट के फंक्शनिंग के लिए. अनफॉर्चुनेटली अभी भी हम उसको बहुत कम यूज कर पा रहे हैं, बट ही हैज मेड इट अ वेरी वेरी पावरफुल टूल फॉर प्लानिंग डिफरेंट एक्टिविटीज एट विलेज लेवल, एट ब्लॉक लेवल एंड सो ऑन. सिमिलरली whatever, I mean several projects, I think he would be narrating, he is a better person to narrate, I should not name that, but I think that this man deserves a big round of applause because from Bihar he is a man who is tirelessly working for e-governance. Wish you all the best, Shailesh.
Thank you for good words, sir. Respected Principal Secretary IT, Sri Tripurani Saranji, and dignitaries on the dais. Today we'll give you insight into how exactly mobile governance is basically coming up in the country, as well as what are the mobile initiatives what we are doing. One of the initiative I told you just now that entire Vidhan Sabha proceeding you will be able to see live on the mobile phones. This is maybe first time in the country after Rajya Sabha the entire proceedings are available on the mobile phones. So we will go through the presentation. My topic is towards smart governance, the M-governance framework. See, today the e-government concept is to reach to the masses with variety of services delivered through multi-channel delivery systems. And government is also under pressure to deliver various kind of services through electronic means. And there is a need to change the basic architecture of the applications by which we were earlier working. The concept of everything being done by one single organization is changing. Now we require to have lot of platforms being created by government or different private parties, and these platforms need to be integrated into the application. Mobile is one of the area where this kind of platform has been created by Government of India for the citizens and for the development organizations also, so that they will be able to integrate their applications into this. If you see the entire facet of the organization, you will find that people, citizen and businesses, everyone uses different kind of delivery channels to access the services. These are accessible through portals which are available on the cloud, and people are able to access quality services with very minimum effort. See, if I want to launch an application, I need not worry about where my data center is, how the speed will be there. If I want to enhance, how exactly the enhancement will be done. All these are being taken care of in backend by different organizations. So what we need to have, those kind of infrastructures which has been created need to be leveraged into our application, and the quality service delivery will come through this. If we see evolution of e-governance in India, by 2011 the M-governance started coming. And in 2013 we are talking of DBT, we are talking of convergence of services, and through this we are talking of a smart governance kind of framework in the country. Now, various platforms being created by different organizations, like as we see LPG today talks about that Aadhaar enablement. Then now we are talking of elections also is going to be Aadhaar enabled, PDS applications, all these are going to be based on Aadhaar. So there will be authentication related mechanism which is required for most of the applications, that will be taken up by the Aadhaar framework, rather than we go for authenticating. Similarly, the financial inclusion will be through DBTs. Then there is another cloud infrastructure that is coming through the government, that is Meghraj Cloud, which is GI Cloud, which is being made available. And then there is citizen engagement also, that the schemes which are being launched, people's participation in those schemes are also facilitated through MyGov. Now if we see eGov 3.0, it is expected that it will be collaborative. Why we are calling it collaborative? If I need to develop application, we need to collaborate from different angles. Mobile partners will be there, GIS partners will be there, then other infrastructure or platform partners will be there. They will collaborate to provide quality services. It need to be flexible. It need to be personalized. It should be customizable according to my need, and it should be outcome driven. The reason is the mobile penetration or the services which was earlier confined to a very limited set of people, now it has reached to the masses. And there is two more things. People want to have quality services due to rising income levels, and there is a need. Every technology is driven by the requirements. People require those services to be available, and that's why we are having, there is a willingness in the citizen to accept those services. Now the journey is changing. Earlier it was from the sender's view. Sender's view means we were service provider, we were giving the services, whatever service we were giving, people were accepting this. Now it is from the user's perspective. What they demand, we need to provide services to them. And this kind of change management need to be enabled in our applications. Now various kind of models are coming up. These can be cloud-based offerings like platform as a service, software as a service, or infrastructure. All these are getting available. Today Microsoft Cloud is there, GI Cloud is available for the government. So many clouds are available. You have to only select which one suits your requirement. There are a lot of models available, pay per transaction or pay per use services. So this kind of variety of services which were not earlier available now is available. We have to change our strategy based on these kind of services which are available. Now, in case we want to implement M-governance in the state or in the country, we need to create a complete ecosystem for enabling the delivery of various electronic government services through mobile devices. There should be one-stop solution for all mobile services. There should be centrally hosted infrastructure so that people are getting quality services through that. And departments need not invest on creating own platforms. This is so that the time in delivering those services will be minimized. Why we are talking of mobile? If we see the statistics, we have the total population around 1.25 billion population, and out of that telecom subscribers are around 22.04 million. These are basically figures which we are quoting, and when we see that the mobile platform which is currently available in the country is most suitable to deliver the last mile services which we are expecting to this. In last meeting, the Prime Minister also has said that all the services which is being delivered through the e-governance should be available through the mobile phones. And that is a line that has been specified. That's why you will find that most of the services now are spanning through the mobile phones. Now, in this we will be introducing you a mobile seva platform which is basically being provided through DIT. Mobile Seva platform, basically it is a MSDG, Mobile Service Delivery Gateway. This is for all departments. This provides you SMS, USSD, voice or IVRS and mobile apps. All these services are available through this. The NEGP is also extended to include this mobile architecture into the next generation NEGP services. Now, what this mobile seva platform, why we are talking this as a platform? The reason is, it is going to be available for any of the departments to directly plug into these services. Open APIs are available. You can directly use these services rather than creating their own. If you understand this, Mobile Seva of DIT is a centralized platform and infrastructure for mobile-based delivery and access to the public services. It's a free of cost integration. This is very important because the cost of, if it is not there, then easily people can integrate. You will understand that at least 5 to 6 crores of SMS services are being sent through this services per day. Me Seva is also integrated with this. Andhra Pradesh, it is integrated with this. Most of the telecom companies are part of Me Seva. And there are a lot of mobile apps already developed and is available on the app stores which can be directly downloaded and can be used by. This has basically 3-4 parts. One is SMS will be there. Then we have IVRS kind of thing is also there. Mobile also will have payment gateway infrastructure that is also inbuilt in the entire framework. And it is expected that most of the services which is available through Digital India program or through various projects will be delivered through this MSDG platform also. There are certain push and pull, both of the SMS is available. I'll talk about a small thing about USSD. I think many of you may be knowing, but USSD is more reliable than SMS. It provides you around 182 alphanumeric characters. What is difference between an SMS and USSD service is, SMS basically it store and forward kind of thing. It goes from one server to another. USSD directly connects a connection between your mobile and the server of the USD server of the service provider, and you are able to exchange message reliably between this. So any kind of, let us say, if a user wants to give you want to search your balance of account balance. You want to give that, yes, I have received your account registration and you want to give information to the customer. All these kind of things can be easily done through USSD services. I think we'll further go. Now, all this further will be integrated with the cloud-based applications where you will find that all these services can be integrated. See, unless otherwise we have services available on the cloud, the restriction of the platform as well as the service will not go on. So we need to have the cloud also there, the mobile application also there, and the application architecture. All these need to be changed into a architecture which supports all these kind of platforms. This is the EGOV architecture of the platform which is available, GI Cloud which is available through. And we see that most of the government services which is available now accessible through the mobile phones also. We will give you a glimpse of what exactly we have done here. We have developed various kinds of application, and we have integrated mobile application, web-based application, and the GIS, so that location-specific decisions in the real time can be done from the on-site itself. We'll give you a glimpse of our application. We have done this for the building construction department. We have done for the forest department. We are currently doing for electricity department, and we are in the process for Jan Dhan Yojana in Bihar. Then we are doing for irrigation department, and now Chief Secretary at level has decided that most of the schemes which are being, we need to have a common framework, common architecture in which most of the schemes monitoring can be done through this kind of architecture. This application basically runs in two modes. One will be a web-based mode, second one will be online mode, and third one is offline mode. These three modes it works. This allows that schemes can be entered through a web interface. These schemes are downloaded on the mobile phone through as the user logs on to this. That requires only internet connection. After that, the user can visit to the locations, like if he wants to take physical status of the plantation, he can visit to that location. That time internet connectivity is not there. For visiting sites, internet connectivity is not required. Then he can visit multiple sites, take physical and financial parameters, and then at later on, when he comes into the internet zone, he can upload the databases. And that we will show you the glimpse of the applications. It allows you to enter into the database. It can authenticate. After that, all the details comes in the mobile phone. The user can see all the details of those schemes there. Then physical and financial parameters as specified by the department can be filled at the site by the individual users. Then it allows you to take 4 geo-tagged photographs, time-stamped geo-tagged photographs can be taken, and multiple sites can be taken like this. After that, when he comes to the internet zone, he can upload those information, and the database at the mobile will be cleared, and that database will be uploaded on the site. On the site, it can be viewed all the progressive pictures. Like in the plantation scheme, what we have done is, there are 3 kinds of users. One who has to report, so he will be going, taking snaps, giving physical parameters, and uploading to the site. Second one is inspection. Senior officers also go there, take parameters, and then upload. So then you have a mechanism by which you are able to authenticate what physical parameter was specified by whom, and a continuous progress, how exactly that is being done, that can be viewed. By this way, you will be able to see the date, time, lat, long, everything will come. You can see that on the GIS platform also. Like this is what we have done for e-plantation. You can see the plantations have been taken. It has been enabled in the GIS also. So whenever there is a picture or anything status comes, it can automatically be seen that from where, which plantation it has come on the GIS platform. Then exactly the pictures and everything taken from this, along with the parameters which are being captured through the mobile phone, it comes here. So this is what the application is. Now what we require is that there is a need to first understand that every data which is coming from field need to be collected from the source. Second one, we need to convert our application architectures in such a way that these kind of new technologies which enhances the quality of the services delivery need to be incorporated into the applications, and then rather than creating thousands of islands of applications, we need to create a common architecture of the applications, common applications, so that integration of this kind of applications for government departments can easily be done with the concept of reusability of the applications. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Governance, and also taking us through a live example, and in a state like Bihar, it's really wonderful to hear you. One important point I would like to say that which you have touched upon is on interoperability and technology management, which is very, very important, because nowadays M-governance or any services, everybody is going through mobile phones. Nowadays the penetration is so high. So this is the key area at the moment. The need of the hour is technology management or interoperability, and DIT is also working on open APIs and all. Thank you so much once again. So may I now request Mr. Sanjeev to deliberate. I would also request you to briefly give your introduction. Thank you.
I would like to take this opportunity rather. I think Mr. Sanjeevan Sinha doesn't need any introduction in this forum, at least. People sitting here are so very acquainted with Mr. Sanjeevan Sinha. He is Managing Director of Bihar Education Infrastructure Corporation. And yesterday also he was a panel member, and I had told that in this infrastructure corporation also, he at his own initiative has utilized some of the very important e-governance mechanisms to monitor the progress of the construction work going on in field. Hundreds and thousands of schools are under construction. He is also the director of midday meal program, and everybody knows that a huge amount of spending, government spending is happening in midday meal, and to monitor that electronically, that is also a very, very important task at hand for government and for proper e-governance. I would request Mr. Sanjeevan to elaborate a little bit about his initiatives in these two fronts also, along with other things that he would like to say.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Sanjeevan.
Good morning, respected Principal Secretary, IT Department, and other dignitaries over the dais and the audience. In fact, basically I belong to a social science group. I am a social science graduate. I have no idea about what the technology is, how it works. But I am a sincere user of technology. And in fact, today I will take 10 to 12 minutes to share my journey in one of the organizations of Bihar, where I started as first MD of the corporation named Bihar State Educational Infrastructure Development Corporation. मैं इनफैक्ट कल भी इस ग्रुप को एड्रेस किया था, और शायद वह टॉपिक था द रोल ऑफ एकेडमिया इन आईसीटी एजुकेशन. आज मैं आपसे I am probably easy at Hindi, so I would use my further conversations in Hindi only. I don't think it's problem for anyone. आप सन 2011 में, it was in the month of April when this organization was formed and started working. इस organization का उद्देश्य था बिहार में एजुकेशनल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप करना, प्राइमरली सिविल कंस्ट्रक्शन इसके वर्क थे. और उस समय एक मुख्य समस्या ये थी कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जब आप सेटअप कर रहे हैं उसका मॉडल कैसा हो, हाउ फार इट शुड बी डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड एंड हाउ फार सेंट्रलाइज्ड. जो नेचर ऑफ वर्क था ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का या प्रपोज्ड वर्क था होने वाला था, वह ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ डिसेंट्रलाइज मॉनिटरिंग वाज इन्वॉल्व। और उस समय डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन और सेंट्रलाइजेशन के इस विवाद में या इस डायकोटॉमी में फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी ट्राई टू आइडेंटिफाई कि कौन ऐसे वर्क हैं जो डिसेंट्रलाइज ज़्यादा बेहतर ढंग से काम कर सकते हैं और कौन ऐसे वर्क हैं जो सेंट्रलाइजेशन में अच्छे वर्क काम कर सकते हैं। और वी बाय अ कॉन्शियस डिसीजन डिसाइडेड दैट the monitoring and supervision is the work which can't be centralized. Only reporting part of the monitoring can be centralized by the use of IT. So हम लोगों ने supervision and further monitoring को traditionally जैसे decentralized model है उसको बरकरार रखा, but we tried to infuse centralization by the use of technology. और वी हैव 9 डिविजन्स, मीन्स जो हम लोग के रेवेन्यू डिविजन्स बिहार में हैं उस तरह के 9 डिफरेंट ऑफिसेज थे, उनके फील्ड ऑफिसर्स थे, दो जनरली बीइंग द एजुकेटिव इंजीनियर्स, असिस्टेंट इंजीनियर्स एंड जूनियर इंजीनियर्स। इनके वर्किंग को मॉनिटर करने के लिए या तो ये कहा जाए वर्क को मॉनिटर करने के लिए देयर आर 2 इशूज। कभी कभी हम लोग इसमें मिक्स कर देते हैं, किसी वर्किंग को मॉनिटर करना और वर्क को मॉनिटर करना। हम लोगों ने कंसियस डिसीजन लिया कि उस समय हम लोग वर्किंग को मॉनिटर ना करके वर्क को मॉनिटर करेंगे और उसमें एक सिंपल तरीका अख्तियार किया कि हमारे सारे वर्क का प्री लोडेड प्रोग्राम, वेब बेस्ड प्रोग्राम बनाया और हमारे हर इंजीनियर्स के पास मोबाइल के जरिए वह प्रोग्राम पहले से अवेलेबल था। उनकी वीकली रिपोर्टिंग स्टेटस का, वर्क स्टेटस का एंड एसोसिएटेड विद द जियो स्टैम्प एंड टाइम स्टैम्प फोटोग्राफ्स वो स्टार्ट किया। और आज बिहार में बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक काम कर रहे हैं और काफ़ी बेहतर कर रहे हैं। अभी ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंटेशन में हम लोगों ने देखा भी, लेकिन 2011 के अगस्त महीने में हम लोगों ने यह शुरू किया था और 11 से आज 15 तक का जो जर्नी है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का, उस पूरे दौरान हम लोगों ने यह जानने की कोशिश की और समझने की कोशिश की कि ई गवर्नेंस है क्या। और जर्नी ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैज बीन टू लर्न अबाउट एंड अंडरस्टैंड द ई गवर्नेंस। और आज अगर हम परिभाषा के अर्थ में कहें तो जनरली हम लोग ई गवर्नेंस से समझते हैं यूज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी फॉर डिलीवरिंग समथिंग, मॉनिटरिंग समथिंग या रिपोर्टिंग समथिंग। लेकिन इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में आज आईटी का इन्वॉल्वमेंट इस रूप में है कि हम लोगों ने अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए जो परिभाषा ई गवर्नेंस का निकाला है वो ये है, इन द सेम वे जैसे हम डेमोक्रेसी को कभी कभी सामान्य शब्दों में परिभाषित करते हैं, ई गवर्नेंस हमारे लिए फॉर दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज ए प्रोसेस ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, बाय द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड फॉर द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। इट मीन्स व्हेन वी फर्दर डिटेल इट ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, हम लोग का ई गवर्नेंस के जो कंपोनेंट हैं, जो यूज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी है, वह इंटीग्रल पार्ट ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हो गया है। मैं एग्जांपल इस पे रखना चाहूँगा। हमारे यहाँ डेटा इंटीग्रिटी फ्रॉम द सोर्स टू फाइनल रिपोर्टिंग 100% इंश्योर्ड है बाय दिस मेथड ओनली। My junior engineer sitting in Purnia will tell the same thing which as a MD I will tell. There is no loss, add, addition, anything of the data. All my MIS is web based starting from the first generation level to the last reporting level. Second thing, इससे जो हम लोगों ने अचीव किया है वो ये है, in this organization एक भी MIS ना तो किसी भी पेपर पे रिपोर्ट आते हैं, फील्ड से कोई भी पेपर रिपोर्टिंग नहीं है। बी नॉट ओनली से इट बट बी प्रैक्टिस इट। हमारे पूरे फील्ड ऑफिस में एक भी रिपोर्ट कागज के नहीं आते। न ही किसी अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड मेल फॉर्म में आते हैं। इट इज 100% स्ट्रक्चर्ड। और मैं जो शुरुआत वही किया था कि हमारा जो शुरू की दुविधा थी कि सेंट्रलाइजेशन किस हद तक हो और डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन किस हद तक हो, नाउ वी कैन से वी हैव अचीव्ड 100% uniformity in the reporting and integrity of data from a starting point to the last point of reporting. So we think that probably for us this is a process of the organization. Let us come, what we think is e-governance is the process by the organization. यह एक दूसरी दुविधा थी कि अधिकतर ई गवर्नेंस या आईसीटी इनिशिएटिव के जो प्रयास किए जाते हैं सामान्यतः वह आउटसोर्स्ड नेचर के प्रयास होते हैं। ऑर्गेनाइजेशन गो अहेड विथ आउटसोर्सिंग द एक्टिविटी एंड ए वेरी सिंसियर और द इफेक्टिव थर्ड पार्टी कमिंग इनटू द सीन एंड असिस्टिंग द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। हम लोग की शुरू से शुरुआत थी कि यह रियल सेंस में बाय द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होना चाहिए। एंड आफ्टर 2.5 years we can tell that in true sense it is by the organization. Only the source code is still available with the developer and add-on activities are done by the developer, but all day-to-day bugs or day-to-day reporting changes are done in-house. So we are also trying to achieve by the organization. And the third one, of the organization. Whether my e-governance activities are of the organization or not, we have tried to infuse the philosophy in the organization members that all these activities are for the help of the employee, for helping them deliver. Another thing we find that sometimes IT initiatives taken by any organization, people or the employee feel it as an alienated or outsider's activity. So इस समस्या को दूर करने के लिए भी हम लोगों ने यह कोशिश की कि हमारे वर्किंग में ये प्रोसेस कैसे इंटीग्रल पार्ट हो जाए। और वी फाइंड इट कि हमारे डे टू डे रिपोर्टिंग, मॉनिटरिंग, इवैल्यूएशन, हमारे प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट जो भी मॉनिटर्ड होते हैं उसमें मेरे अगर चीफ इंजीनियर जो मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं, हमारा फील्ड का एग्जीक्यूटिव इंजीनियर भी वही बातें, वही सोर्स ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन पे वर्क कर रहा है जो चीफ इंजीनियर कर रहा है। तो इस तरह से वी हैव स्टार्टेड ए जर्नी ऑफ डिफाइनिंग ई गवर्नेंस फॉर आवर ओन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड वी आर स्टिल of the opinion that to some extent we have made e-governance for our organization in true sense a process of the organization, by the organization and for the organization. मैं दूसरी जर्नी मिड डे मील के बारे में आई एम अगेन फॉर द लास्ट 6 months आई एम हेडिंग एज डायरेक्टर मिड डे मील स्कीम. वी आर फीडिंग 130 crores 1 crore 30 lakhs children per day, and there is a challenge how to monitor these activities. So the two prone activity, one is the monthly reporting. यहाँ भी हम लोगों ने एक MIS डेवलप किया है जिसमें स्कूल वार 2 कंपोनेंट इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं मिड डे मील में. वन इज द availability of food grains and another is the availability of fund which converts food grains into the eatable item. तो ये दोनों आइटम की मंथली अवेलेबिलिटी स्कूल वार वेब बेस्ड MIS में हर महीने की 15 तारीख को पुराने महीने की स्थिति फीड हो जाती है. पूरी तरह ऑनलाइन है और इट इज प्रैक्टिस्ड बाय 530 block resource persons who have been authorized to feed this information for the schools falling within their blocks. ये हर महीने की एक्टिविटी है. दूसरी एक्टिविटी है कि इसको हम लोग काउंटर चेक करते हैं. एक हमारा दोपहर नामक IVRS है. एवरी डे एवरी स्कूल प्रिंसिपल को हम लोग IVRS से कॉल करते हैं। प्री डिफाइंड क्वेश्चंस हैं, उसमें इंक्लूड होते हैं कि आप इस तरह के रेलेवेंट क्वेश्चन हैं, आज कितने बच्चे उपस्थित हुए, कितने बच्चों ने खाना खाया, वो प्रिंसिपल फीडबैक देते हैं और IVRS की वो जानकारी वेबसाइट पे अवेलेबल है। यहाँ पर हम उस रूप में नहीं कह सकते कि ई गवर्नेंस एक्टिविटी हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल वर्क को उस हद तक चेंज कर पाया है, बट पब्लिक इंफॉर्मेशन डिसेमिनेशन में काफ़ी हद तक उपयोगी है। और एक तीसरी शुरुआत हम लोग अभी विद इन 1 और 2 डेज या इनफैक्ट आज वो ऑपरेशनल हो भी गया है कि इन सारे इंफॉर्मेशंस को लेकर हम लोगों ने एक एडवेंचर एक तरह से कहा जाए वो मैंने किया है कि एक कॉमन प्लेटफॉर्म पे इंडिविजुअल स्कूल के वेबसाइट अपलोड किए हैं। उसमें मिड डे मील के सारे इंफॉर्मेशन एंड अदर इंफॉर्मेशन लाइक हु इज़ द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ द स्कूल, व्हाट इज़ द कंपोजिशन ऑफ द स्कूल मैनेजमेंट कमिटी, हु इज़ द सेक्रेटरी ऑफ द स्कूल मैनेजमेंट कमिटी, who are the cooks there, who are the BRPs concerned with the schools, and what are the facilities like kitchens and other things in the school. All are available on the individual website of the school. We have started this work. We have registered our domain on 29th of January this year, and yesterday evening we have uploaded 70,000 schools websites. So that is a process जिससे हम लोग इंफॉर्मेशन डिसेमिनेशन रियल टाइम बेसिस पे उस पर भी हम लोगों ने दोपहर का लिंक दे रखा है और मंथली स्टेटस का भी लिंक है इंडिविजुअल स्कूल के वेबसाइट पे। ए विजिटर कैन गो टू द एनी स्कूल पेज एंड फाइंड आउट व्हाट वाज द पोजीशन ऑफ नंबर ऑफ चिल्ड्रन अटेंडिंग स्कूल yesterday and what was the feeding position, and at the same time he can also have the information what is the grain available in the school for the current month and the last 3 previous months, and what are the fund position, who are the principal, where to complain and where to give the feedback. So ये सारे इनिशिएटिव हैं, and for me I think ई गवर्नेंस को मैं जब भी एज ए सोशल साइंस स्टूडेंट देखता हूँ तो मुझे यही लगती है बात जो मैं उस शायद बड़ा सिंप्लीफाइड वर्ड में वो परिभाषा को लाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि ई गवर्नेंस एक्टिविटी प्राइमरली हैज़ टू बी कंसर्न्ड विद द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, और इसीलिए यह एक ऐसा प्रोसेस है जो नेसेसरली हैज़ टू बी ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, बाय द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, फॉर द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। इसके रिजल्ट्स भले किसी भी बेनिफिशियरी तक जाए, बट प्रोसेस को चेंज करने के लिए ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को इस प्रोसेस को आत्मसात करना पड़ेगा। ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैज़ टू अडॉप्ट दिस प्रोसेस एंड फिलॉसफी। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Mr. Sanjeevani. It was really nice to go through your experience. The midday meal, we have to learn so much from your experiences. And also you have defined so well what is e-governance. You know, from your own experience, by the people, for the people, of the people, and through your own learnings. Because many people, everybody talk of e-governance, but many of us may not be knowing what it is. It may not, somebody talks that it's, you know, giving technology or computerization is e-governance, but it is the process, end-to-end process, that is what e-governance is, and you have explained that very well, simplified it so well. Thank you so much. And now I request Mr. Atul Sinha, Director DST, to, you know, give his deliberations. And also, sir, everybody knows you well, but I request you to, you know, give your brief introduction also.
Respected Principal Secretary, IT and Agriculture, Tripurari Shirin sir, esteemed fellow members on the dais, IT professionals from a state, from this state and maybe from some other states also, the government officials present here, a very good morning to all of you. I am Atul Sinha, Director Science and Technology, Government of Bihar. I am primarily an officer of Indian Telecom Services, served for around 20 years in Department of Telecom and BSNL, erstwhile Department of Telecom and BSNL in different capacities, but primarily on technology side. For last 3 years, I am on deputation to Government of Bihar. That is, my deputation period is for 5 years. 3 years I have worked as Managing Director of Beltron, Bihar State Electronic Development Corporation, and for last 5 months I am serving as Director of Science and Technology. मिस्टर संजीवन का ने अभी अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए ई गवर्नेंस की एक परिभाषा गढ़ी और पहले भी थोड़ा मेरा विचार था और इनकी बात सुन करके मैं आज एक आपके सामने एक यूनिक कंपैरिजन एनालॉजी 2 मिनट में पेश करना चाहता हूं. मुझे कई बार लगने लगा है कि ई गवर्नेंस हैज नाउ टेकन अ फॉर्म ऑफ, हैज बिकम लाइक ऑलमाइटी गॉड. ईश्वर की तरह से वो सर्वव्याप्त हो चुका है. वो हम में समाया, वो तुम में समाया. मैं आपको जस्ट एक दो कुछ एनालॉजी देता हूं. आज हम जिस तरफ जिस डिपार्टमेंट की बात करते हैं, जिस सर्विस, कभी भी सर्विस डिलीवरी की बात करते हैं, हम ट्रांसपोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट की बात करते हैं, हम किसी भी चीज दिशा में बात करते हैं, हम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की बात करते हैं, स्मार्ट सिटी की बात करते हैं, हर जगह ऐसा लगता है कि ई गवर्नेंस सर्वव्याप्त हो चुका है और अलग अलग लोग उसको अलग अलग तरह से इंटरप्रेट कर रहे हैं, अलग अलग तरह से देख रहे हैं. जैसे ईश्वर की राह पे हम चलना शुरू करते हैं तो हमें लगता है कि हाँ हम कहीं पहुंच गए हैं, लेकिन फिर जब डीप इंटरवेंशन होता है सोचते हैं तो मुझे लगता है अरे अभी तो हमने पहला ही कदम बढ़ाया है या दूसरा ही कदम बढ़ाया है. वैसे ही ई गवर्नेंस के साथ होता है कि सबसे पहले अलग अलग मैच्योरिटी का फेज होता है. कोई भी विभाग जब पहले चलना शुरू करता है तो अगर एक वेबसाइट बना लेता है तो वो सोचता है मैंने तो ई गवर्नेंस कर लिया, बट उसे पता चलता है अरे अभी तो शुरुआत हुई है, अभी तो मुझे इस पे लाइव डेटा डालना है. जब लाइव डेटा डालता है तो पता चलता है कि अरे इस लाइव डेटा को जब तक एनालाइज न करें तब तक क्या फायदा है. जब एनालाइज करता है तो उसे लगता है यार जब तक प्रोसेसेस इसमें लिंक ना करे तब तक क्या फायदा है. प्रोसेसेस लिंक होने के बाद लगता है जब तक इसमें फाइनेंशियल पार्ट, पेमेंट गेटवे ना इंक्लूड हो जाए तो क्या फायदा है. सो दिस वे वी फाइंड कि ई गवर्नेंस बिल्कुल ऑलमाइटी की तरह से हमारे जिंदगी के हर क्षेत्र में फैला हुआ है और इतना डीप रूटेड हो चुका है. आज के समय में इसका एप्लीकेशन इतना डीप रूटेड हो चुका है कि हम जब कभी भी 1 कदम 2 कदम या कितने भी कदम बढ़ाते जाते हैं और हमें पता ऐसा लगता जाता है कि इसका कोई और छोर नहीं है, अनंत आकाश है, हम इस पे चलते जाते हैं. ऑफ कोर्स ये जरूर है कि हम जितना आगे बढ़ते जाते हैं उतना ही हमें आनंद का अनुभव होता जाता है, हम पब्लिक की सेवा ज़्यादा बेहतर तरीके से कर पाते हैं और उसके डिफरेंट डिलीवरी के मैकेनिज्म से इवॉल्व कर पाते हैं. और ये मैंने सिर्फ आपसे इसलिए कहा, ये एनालॉजी इसलिए बताई कि टू जस्ट एलेबोरेट द ग्रेविटी ऑफ ई गवर्नेंस. एंड हम लोग जो चर्चा कर रहे हैं वो शायद उसके 1 या 2 फेसेट्स पे ही चर्चा कर पा रहे हैं और मैं आप सबके सामने समक्ष प्रस्तुत हूँ ई गवर्नेंस के 2 और फेसेट्स जो मेरी निगाह से, हर आदमी अपनी परिभाषा कर रहा है, मैं अपनी तरफ से भी एक परिभाषा करना चाहता हूं. और ई गवर्नेंस में मेरे लिए समझ से 1 या 2 चीज़ें जो इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर्स है वो भी मैं बताना चाहता हूं आपको. सबसे पहले मैं आपको एक एग्जाम्पल देना चाहता हूं कि 2000 के समय से करीब अप्रॉक्सीमेटली इंडिया में अराउंड अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 2000-2001 इलेक्ट्रॉनिफिकेशन का काम थोड़ा बहुत शुरू हुआ और वो धीरे धीरे प्रगति के राह पे चलता रहा. जब हमने शुरुआत की तो एक कंप्यूटर, स्टैंड अलोन कंप्यूटर लगा करके उस पर कोई एप्लीकेशन ले लेना और उससे कोई रसीद जनरेट कर लेना, ये बहुत गर्व की बात मानी जाती थी और ये कंप्यूटराइजेशन का पहला चरण हुआ करता था. और हम लोग बड़े खुश हो जाते थे अगर एक स्टैंड अलोन कंप्यूटर हमने लगा लिया और उससे कुछ प्रिंट आउट जनरेट करके अगर पब्लिक को देने लगे तो दैट वाज अ वेरी बिग अचीवमेंट. फिर हम लोग आगे बढ़े, उस समय डेटा नहीं था, इंटरनेट से कनेक्टिविटी हुई और वेबसाइट बनाने लगे और वेबसाइट पे कुछ डेटा डिस्प्ले करने लगे एंड दैट वाज अनदर बिग माइलस्टोन और अचीवमेंट इन द ऑन द पाथ. देन वी स्टार्टेड providing online services, and so on and so forth. इस 15 साल की जर्नी में एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण घटना हुई कि हम लोगों ने सफिशिएंट अमाउंट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डेटा कलेक्ट कर लिया है. आज के समय में, आज से 5-10 साल पहले तक सरकार के पास, ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के पास डेटा ही नहीं होता था जिस डेटा पे काम किया जा सके. मगर आज सरकार के पास, प्राइवेट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के पास एम्पल अमाउंट ऑफ डेटा है जिसको बहुत गेनफुली यूटिलाइज किया जा सकता है. और उसी का एक एग्जाम्पल हम आपके सामने पेश करना चाहते हैं और उसी की एक चर्चा थोड़ी सी आपके सामने करना चाहते हैं कि हाउ इंपॉर्टेंट दिस एप्लीकेशन कैन बिकम यूजिंग databases. I am talking of big data analytics, using different databases that is already available with government, with different organizations, with different institutions, different private organizations. सबसे पहले friends मैं आपसे चाहता हूं, you please start counting the number of databases that today we have. We have NPR, National Population Register data, number 1. For entire population, we have socio-economic caste census survey data, SECC data, number 2. We have PDS data, means ration card data for majority of population, approximately 2.14 crore family records of the family, which covers approximately 8 to 9 crore population of this state out of 11.8 crores population, total population. Then we have election voter ID, election voter card data. This is the 4th one. Again, probably for around 5.5 crores population in Bihar. Then we have social welfare department data, where we collect the data for giving various kind of anudan, what we call Shailesh? Social welfare department. Pensions, different kind of pensions data, widow pension, old age pension, disabled pension and all. Then we have revenue department data, जहां हमारे पास सबका लैंड का रिकॉर्ड्स अवेलेबल है कि किस आदमी के पास कितना लैंड है, कितना है. अगर आप slightest of the land, if you are having even an inch of land, if you are possessing, you have your name recorded in electronic form in government records. Then we have RSBY डेटा, राष्ट्रीय बीमा सुरक्षा योजना डेटा, जिसमें कि गरीबों को एक कार्ड इशू किया गया है. करीब, जहां तक मेरी जानकारी है, रफली 96 लाख कार्ड्स हैव बीन डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड. 96 लाख लोगों का डेटा अवेलेबल है. देन वी हैव इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बोर्ड डेटा. आज इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बोर्ड के भी सारे डेटा कंप्यूटराइज्ड हैं और बिहार में मुझे लगता है पटना में करीब 4.5 लाख कनेक्शंस हैं, इलेक्ट्रिकल कनेक्शंस हैं. पूरे बिहार में मुझे लगता है कि कम से कम 5 से 6 करोड़ कनेक्शंस का डेटा है, वो भी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्म में है. देन वी हैव नरेगा डेटा, नेशनल रूरल एम्प्लॉयमेंट गारंटी डेटा, ये भी करीब 1 करोड़ लोगों का डेटा है. देन वी हैव इंदिरा आवास योजना डेटा, जो भी करीब 70 लाख लोगों का डेटा है बिहार सरकार के पास अवेलेबल. देन वी हैव व्हीकल रजिस्ट्रेशन डेटा, जो कि अगेन करीब 50 से 60 लाख व्हीकल्स का रजिस्ट्रेशन डेटा है. देन वी हैव एग्जामिनेशन बोर्ड डेटा. हर साल करीब बिहार सरकार में, बिहार बोर्ड से 8 से 10 लाख बच्चे अपीयर होते हैं हाई स्कूल इंटरमीडिएट मिला करके, और पिछले 10 साल का भी डेटा अगर हो तो मेरे पास तो 1 करोड़ डेटा एग्जामिनेशन बोर्ड का है. वी हैव गैस कनेक्शन डेटा, ऑल इलेक्ट्रॉनिफाइड टुडे. That is again in Bihar, it is in the tune of approaching 1 crore data for gas connection data. Then we have telephone companies and mobile data. आपको मालूम है कि करीब 6 से 7 करोड़ मोबाइल कनेक्शन है बिहार में और 6-7 करोड़ लोगों का इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्म में डेटा है. Then we have PAN card data. Then we have bank account data. You cannot count the number of data fields and number of data records that we have in electronic form. But friends, unfortunately, all these databases are residing in silos. They are not connected at all. None of the database that I discussed, that I described here, is talking to each other today. And probably the next phase of evolution of e-governance in this state, in this country, is going to evolve it in the form of data analytics and big data analytics, utilizing or connecting, trying to connect all these data gainfully. मैं आपको ये विश्वास जाना चाहता हूं और आपको ये बताना चाहता हूं कि अगर किसी भी प्रयास से एंड किसी भी अमाउंट ऑफ प्रयास से अगर इन सारे डेटाबेसेस को कनेक्ट कर दिया जाए, if they can talk to each other, if these databases can talk to each other, miraculous kind of services can be delivered to citizens. Miracles can be achieved while delivering these services, citizen-centric services, simply if we can connect these databases to each other, if they can talk to each other. मैं आपको एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल देना चाहता हूं. यहां पे हमारे बहुत सारे फ्रेंड्स ऐसे बैठे हैं जिन्हें शायद इस बात का आइडिया भी हो कि इंदिरा आवास योजना में पिछले 7 सालों से बिहार सरकार के द्वारा करीब 4 लाख लोगों को हर साल, 4 या 6 लाख लोगों को हर साल इंदिरा आवास योजना के तहत करीब 70,000 रुपए मकान बनाने के लिए दिया जाता है. हमने एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट का डेटा सिर्फ पिकअप किया और पिछले 3 या 4 साल का डेटा ही इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्म में हमें अवेलेबल हो पाया था, और बिल्कुल ही रैंडम बेसिस पे, सैंपल बेसिस पे, केवल एक्सपेरिमेंट के लिए हमने उस डेटा को सिर्फ एनालाइज कराया. द सिंपलेस्ट काइंड ऑफ एनालिसिस, एंड दैट वाज कंपेयरिंग फाइंडिंग आउट द डुप्लीकेट रिकॉर्ड. आज के डेट में कंप्यूटर साइंस का एक बच्चा भी जो है वो डुप्लीकेट रिकॉर्ड्स फाइंड आउट कर सकता है. जिसने ABCD पढ़ना शुरू किया हो कंप्यूटर साइंस की, वो डुप्लीकेट रिकॉर्ड्स फाइंड कर सकता है. एंड यू वुड बी सरप्राइज्ड टू नो दैट 4% रिकॉर्ड्स वेयर फाउंड डुप्लीकेट इन टोटो. कोई मैनिपुलेशन नहीं. नाम रामचंद्र सिंह, विलेज ये, पिताजी का नाम ये, एब्सोल्युटली मैचिंग रिकॉर्ड्स, 4% डेटा. Can you imagine that out of these 30 or 40 lakh houses, Indira Awas Yojana schemes that have been given to people, उसमें 4% रिकॉर्ड डुप्लीकेट हैं. एक ही आदमी ने एक बैंक से 50,000 लिया है, 70 किलोमीटर दूर दूसरे बैंक से 50,000 रुपए लिया है, 50 किलोमीटर दूर तीसरे बैंक से लिया है. क्योंकि हमारे सोसाइटी में, हमारे सिस्टम में आपको पता है कि जो थोड़ा तेज तर्रार आदमी होता है गांव में, वो ही गवर्नमेंट की एक स्कीम का एक अच्छा खासा पार्ट वो यूसर्व कर लेता है, वो ग्रैब कर लेता है. अब आप सोचिए कि जो एलिजिबल लोग हैं उनको छोड़ करके और डुप्लीकेट आदमी, सिंपली बिकॉज वी डोंट हैव एनी मैकेनिज्म टू चेक द डुप्लीकेसी, वही आदमी पिछले साल भी लिया, वही, ये तो हम बता रहे हैं एक ही साल में लिया. अब पिछले सालों के रिकॉर्ड से अगर आप कंपेयर करें तो कितने लोग ऐसे निकलेंगे जो डुप्लीकेट रिकॉर्ड. एंड यू कैन इमेजिन द काइंड ऑफ वॉल्यूम ऑफ मनी, पब्लिक मनी, विच इज गोइंग टू ड्रेन इन दिस फैशन. एंड सिंपली बाई अ वेरी वेरी सिंपल डेटा एनालिसिस हम लोग इसको, इस तरह की चीजों को टैप कर सकते हैं. इस तरह की चीजों को हम लोग रोक सकते हैं. ये तो मैं आपको बता रहा हूं जहां पे सिर्फ डुप्लीकेट रिकॉर्ड्स को कंपेयर किया गया. अब आपको पता है कि इंदिरा आवास योजना मिलने के लिए देयर आर 7 एक्सक्लूजन प्रिंसिपल्स. अगर उसके पास पक्का मकान है तो वो उसे IAY इंदिरा आवास योजना नहीं मिल सकता है. अगर उसके परिवार में कोई सरकारी नौकर है, कोई भी आदमी, तो उसे पक्का मकान, उसे इंदिरा आवास योजना नहीं मिल सकता है. यदि उसके घर में 4 व्हीलर है तो उसे नहीं मिल सकता है. अगर उसके घर में किसी आदमी की इनकम 10,000 रुपए से ज्यादा है तो उसे नहीं मिल सकता है. अगर लैंड होल्डिंग सर्टेन अमाउंट से ज्यादा है, प्रोबेबली 3 एकड़ और समथिंग उससे ज्यादा है, तो उसको नहीं मिल सकता है. सपोज कीजिए कि हम इंदिरा आवास योजना के डेटाबेस को, अगर इन सभी तरह के डेटाबेस, जो हमारा ट्रांसपोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट का व्हीकल रजिस्ट्रेशन डेटा है, गवर्नमेंट का जो गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉइज का डेटा है, लैंड रेवेन्यू का जो लैंड होल्डिंग का डेटा है, अगर उन सब से कनेक्ट करके और अगर एग्जामिन करना चाहें तो द काइंड ऑफ embezzlement that you can find could be phenomenal, I say, and probably it could serve half the fund, can serve the entire population and the real people who are in need of Indira Awas Yojana. Probably the government money is going somewhere else. Friends, मैंने बताया कि ई गवर्नेंस का जो almighty रूप है वो किस तरह से एक छोटे से फॉर्म में अगर सारा डेटाबेसेस को करेक्ट कर दिया जाए. देयर आर ह्यूज टेक्नोलॉजीज अवेलेबल. We have with us the principal consultant of Infosys. Probably she would be in a better position to throw more light on this, onto this, that how many tools technology has provided today, how many tools to explore this kind of data duplication, data comparison or data analysis, big data analysis, whereby we can produce phenomenal services, miraculous services for citizen and for citizen-centric services. I think I cannot take, this is a topic where I can keep on talking till evening, but I have to limit myself because there are other sessions also. Just by giving one more innovative example. मैंने कहा कि ई-गवर्नेंस वो कितने स्वरूप में हमारे बीच में अवेलेबल है, वो कितने तरीके से इनेबलर का काम कर सकता है, किस किस रूप में हमारे क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ को इंप्रूव करने का काम कर सकता है. देयर इज एब्सोल्युटली नो एंड टू दिस, देयर इज एब्सोल्युटली नो लिमिट टू दिस. स्काई इज द लिमिट, आई टेल यू. और उसका एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल, मैं ये प्राइड अपने बिहार के सारे लोगों के साथ लेना चाहता हूं कि आज से 1 साल पहले इसी बिहार फंक्शन में एक छोटा सा इनिशिएटिव बिहार में पहली बार, पूरे हिंदुस्तान के लेवल पे बिहार में पहली बार, पूरे विश्व के लेवल पे रादर पहली बार लिया गया था. वो था सिटी वाईफाई, फ्री सिटी वाईफाई सर्विसेज क्रिएट करने का. मैं आपसे ये कहने की हिम्मत इसलिए जुटा पा रहा हूं कि अभी चेक करके देख लिया है कि यह काम कर रहा है. थोड़े बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स थे बीच में, बट मुझे लगता है कि शायद वो फिर शुरू किया गया होगा. अभी अगर आप चेक करेंगे तो पटना फ्री वाईफाई आपको मिलेगा आपके मोबाइल पे. जस्ट नाउ हमने चेक किया है एंड इट इज वर्किंग ऑल्सो. एनडीटीवी इसी से खोला है अभी पटना सिटी वाईफाई से. पहली बात आप सबको पता होगा शायद कि अगर आप गूगल पे आज भी डाल करके देखें, लॉन्गेस्ट स्ट्रेच ऑफ फ्री वाईफाई इन वर्ल्ड एंड यू विल फाइंड द नेम ऑफ पटना. 20 kilometers long stretch of Wi-Fi freely available to the public. ये विश्व में अपने तरह की एक अनोखी सोच थी और अनोखा एक्सपेरिमेंट था, जिसको पिछली ई गवर्नेंस ई बिहार समिति के दौरान हम लोगों ने शुरू किया था. उसी दिन इनॉग्रेट कराया था सैंपल के फॉर्म में, पायलट के फॉर्म में, और उसके 3 या 4 महीनों के बाद पूरे बिहार, पूरे पटना में हम लोगों ने 20 किलोमीटर स्ट्रेच उसको स्टार्ट किया था. फॉर वेरियस रीजंस बहुत ज़्यादा बिहार सरकार में उसके हाईलाइट नहीं हो सका. मगर आप एक बार आप सोच करके देखिए कि पूरे हिंदुस्तान में आज कोई भी ऐसा स्टेट नहीं है जहां पे फ्री वाईफाई की बात ना हो रही हो, एंड बिहार इज द पायनियर. आई थिंक पीपल ऑफ बिहार रियली नीड डिजर्व अ क्लैप फॉर दिस, दैट वी हैव अ प्राउड पोजीशन ऑफ, we have a proud, we should feel proud having shown the way that for public free internet services can be made available. And आज के डेट में इंटरनेट is as important, पढ़े लिखे लोगों के लिए is as important infrastructure as रोटी कपड़ा मकान and as the roads or anything else. आज पढ़े लिखे लोगों के लिए तो वाईफाई और इंटरनेट, फ्री इंटरनेट, अगर अच्छे स्पीड का इंटरनेट हर जगह मिल रहा है, देन इट इज डेफिनेटली ए बून, दैट इज डेफिनेटली ए इनेबलर फॉर द पीपल. हम प्रधान सचिव आईटी महोदय यहाँ पे हैं. एक बार पहले किसी संदर्भ में मैंने सर को बताया था और इस हाउस को भी बताना चाहता हूँ कि मेरी सोच ये है कि अगर इस फ्री वाईफाई इनेबलर प्लेटफॉर्म जो है, जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट हो चुका है, बिहार सरकार ने ऑलरेडी वो क्रिएट हो चुका है, अगर जो एजुकेशनल कंटेंट्स हैं वो अगर इस पे डाल दिए जाएं, सिंपली एक सर्वर लगा करके जो फ्री में एजुकेशनल कंटेंट अवेलेबल है. फॉर एग्जांपल मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के एनपीटेल जो है वो फ्री एजुकेशनल कंटेंट, वीडियो कंटेंट्स, वीडियो लेक्चर्स अवेलेबल हैं. तमाम तरह के मल्टीमीडिया कंटेंट्स जो फ्रीली अवेलेबल हैं, khanacademy.com फ्रीली अवेलेबल है. अगर उसको इस सर्वर पे डाल दिया जाए और इस नेटवर्क पे डाल दिया जाए तो बिहार के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए पूरे विश्व में अपनी तरह की एक नई मिसाल क्रिएट होगी कि बिहार के बच्चों के लिए सड़कों पर एजुकेशन, पढ़ने की व्यवस्था अवेलेबल है. हाई क्लास कंटेंट जिससे हमारे गरीब बच्चे, हमारे स्टेट के जो नॉर्मल बच्चे वो महरूम रहते हैं. जो बच्चे ऐसे हैं जो कि अच्छे कोचिंग नहीं अटेंड कर पाते हैं, उन्हें वर्ल्ड क्लास एजुकेशनल कंटेंट उनके 3,000 या 4,000 रुपए पे। और शायद अगला स्टेप मैं प्रधान सचिव महोदय से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि जो हाई स्कूल या इंटरमीडिएट में जो बच्चे हैं, जो सर्टेन लेवल से ऊपर फर्स्ट क्लास इन्होंने पाया है या 70% पाया है, उनके लिए लो कॉस्ट टैबलेट जो आजकल 2,500 से 3,000 रुपए में आ गया है, जिसमें कि वो एजुकेशनल कंटेंट पढ़ सकें, वो अगर लो कॉस्ट टैबलेट प्रोवाइड किया जा सके इन ए मोस्ट सेलेक्टिव वे, रेवड़ी की तरह से बांटने का जरूरत नहीं है जैसा अदर स्टेट्स में किया गया। अगर एक उसके साथ कोई ना कोई प्रतिभागी बना दिया जाए कि अगर आप ये कंपटीशन क्वालिफाई करते हैं, ये एग्जाम क्वालिफाई करते हैं, इतना नंबर ले आते हैं, तो बच्चों में एक कॉम्पिटिटिव फीलिंग भी डेवलप होगी और उनको पढ़ने के लिए एक अच्छा साधन भी मुहैया होगा और उससे देश का और राष्ट्र का भला होगा कि बच्चों को वर्ल्ड क्लास कंटेंट, ये जो इतने एनपीटेल के कंटेंट हैं वो हिंदुस्तान के जो बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट टीचर्स हैं, आईआईटी के जो नामी गिरामी प्रोफेसर्स हैं, उनके द्वारा बनाया गया है और निश्चित रूप से मैंने खुद भी देखा है वो कंटेंट्स, दे आर एब्सोल्युटली यूजफुल। तो ई गवर्नेंस कैन बी इज इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ऑलमाइटी, उसका 100s and thousands of facets are there, and I discuss with you these two facets, big data analytics and the Wi-Fi, city Wi-Fi, city Wi-Fi enabler as an infrastructure, important infrastructure for imparting education to our youths. I think I should stop my presentation here. It was just to invoke thoughts in the people present here कि e-governance किसी एक या दो या तीन या चार फील्ड का नाम नहीं है, बल्कि ये हमारे जीवन के हर हिस्से में समाया हुआ है और हम अपने चारों तरफ जहां नजर उठा करके देखेंगे ई गवर्नेंस का कोई ना कोई एप्लीकेशन हमें नजर आ जाएगा। और जैसे ही हमारे कॉमन लोग इनोवेटिव ई गवर्नेंस की शुरुआत करेंगे, शायद हमारा देश प्रगति के रास्ते पे चल पड़ेगा, हमारा प्रदेश प्रगति के रास्ते पे चलेगा। थैंक यू वेरी मच। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Mr. Sinha, so much, and congratulations for the free Wi-Fi facilities. We are proud of Bihar for this initiative. Actually, it's an example for the entire country. And also, there is a lot of scope for the industry on big data analytics in Bihar, because first we didn't have data to start. Now we all have so much data, we do not know how to actually use. To have a meaningful utilization of the data, technology is available, and IT industry will be very happy to help you. You also would like to add something?
Sir was talking about the concern of various kind of databases which are basically existing. I find two reasons for this. The first reason is it has been created in different periods, and the ownership of the data lies with different departments. And there is some, let us say, the vendor lock-ins and different things due to which people are not able to integrate with them. But there is always hope there. I'll tell you the recent decision that has been done. State government has decided that all these databases are going to come into a single platform. And the base will be our SCCC data. Now, feeding of UID numbers in SCCC data is going to be initiated. Bihar is maybe probably one of the state which has initiated the PDS program through the SCCC database. So already the PDS contains the SCCC database. Now, Finance Department, Election Department, Rural Development Department, all these has come together in which seeding of UID number and the election card ID number is going to put into the SCCC database so that these applications at least starts talking with each other. I request IT department to come as one of the partner to host this database, because this is going to be a centralized database for the state which will facilitate a common citizen database for the state. I think IT department also has a role in play, and once such database comes in the picture and the ownership is taken by different departments, it is going to be a beautiful thing that most of these applications will be talking, and the concern of duplicacy of data and such things basically will go off. So this was my additional view.
Now I request Dr. Manisha, the chair of this session, to sum up this session because probably we are moving in time. Yeah, we have.
Should I go there or? All right. Good morning, everyone, and I thank you, Government of Bihar, and also the organizer for giving us the opportunity. And it's really what this conference is happening since yesterday, but today's topic, I think e-governance is the most interesting topic that we started in the morning. And everybody has talked about the experiences that is through technology and also in the state of Bihar, how good it is happening. And I actually had a presentation, but I thought let me, sum up by just giving few points that, when we talk of e-governance, transformation towards e-governance, first we talk of the tech infrastructure that is available today. So if you see, India is really growing, it's third largest in the country, in the world in terms of internet-based user. And penetration of mobile phone is really increasing, and smartphone penetration is 13% of the entire population. 170 million users are using smartphone in the country today. But at the same time, it is mostly the urban users are using the smartphone. We have a lot to do in terms of reaching out to the rural areas. To penetration should increase in the rural areas a lot. So because smartphone, everybody, the students, everybody is having this, but to actually give them most services to them, we have to think of the local content, localization tool and connectivity that is required at the remotest parts of the country. So that having said so, since penetration is, and Government of India through its ambitious program, Digital India program and also Make in India program, a lot of initiatives have already been thought of in terms of reaching out to every panchayat, NOF and connectivity, and mobile for all connectivity, and then also talking of two main areas. One is the citizen services and the other is reforms through in the government departments. Like reforms, where everybody talked about how we can have application of one platform, because all data is in different silos. So we should now think of, this is the time to think of, having a common data or a structured data in place which we can use through Internet of Things, machine-to-machine learning, and a lot many other technologies that is available today, natural language processing, localization tool. Through that, we can actually have a data through which everybody, the real-time data will be available at the policymakers' decision hand. And on a mobile phone, we can have data of the entire country. At the central level, the central ministries would have data of state-wise. Click on the mouse of a button and can see what is happening in Bihar, what is happening in Kerala, what is happening in different parts of the country. Through social media analytics, also lot many projects are being undertaken in participation of the government, because now government has created a conducive environment. Private parties are coming forward, and through this public-private partnership mode, lot many transformational projects are successfully being run in the country today. So although there are issues, as we all heard, so many issues are there to run the program, but still we are very happy and proud that we are actually, India is actually going far ahead today through MyGov portal and many other portals which are already there. We are far ahead than many other countries, although we, in terms of UN ranking, etc., we were below the list. But at the same time, if you see the current complexity that we have in terms of the federal structure, the parties, different parties, culture differences, so much of complexities are there in India, but still we all together, government as well as private parties, are coming together to come up with a good transformation in the e-governance format. Now, the other thing is in Bihar, I think what we can think of, so much potential is already there. Government has also taken initiatives and people are also there. So we have to think of having some IT hubs in Bihar and some knowledge hubs, and so that we can bring back the people who are going away from Bihar for job opportunities. We can create that opportunities here. Why only the people from Bihar, but other people across the country will also look Bihar as a point of, for the future. They should attract that kind of opportunities. It is doing, but still maybe we have to have some kind of innovatives for startups. Then as I said, IT parks and knowledge hubs, those things we should think of in Bihar as well. So, thank you. And is there any questions? Okay. Not at the end? Okay, then I request Mr. Ravi to come and speak few words, and then we'll go for the question and answer session.
In the morning, panelists were not there, so I sat there to fill up the space, and I thought I will also speak a few words here. I think I will take off from where Atul ji has ended, that e-governance हमारे चारों ओर है और हर डिपार्टमेंट में हो रहा है. And I want to link it with the yesterday's question of Atul ji to the other panelists, to STPI or CDAC, that how can we become Bangalore or Hyderabad or Chennai. And many people mentioned that we are Bihar बहुत पीछे है, अभी लंबी journey and all that stuff, which is perfectly right. The name of the session is Transformation through E-Governance, and I want to link two things, E-Governance and growth of IT industry. And I think both are linked to each other. The IT journey in India has been BPOs, KPOs, and now R&D people are doing. And I think the same journey will have to happen in Bihar. And I think कि हम लोग जो मैं last year भी और इस साल भी I have been like hearing about asking STPI कि please expand in Bihar, asking CDAC to please expand in Bihar. I think वो एक स्टेप है, बट एक स्टेप और है कि हमारे सामने गंगा जी बैठे हैं, संजीवन जी बैठे हैं. देर आर टेंस ऑफ अदर डिपार्टमेंट्स, आप ई-गव का स्पेशल इशू देख सकते हैं, हु आर इम्प्लीमेंटिंग IT इन ए बिग वे. If each Bihar department starts consuming IT, starts using IT, it will end up providing IT employment, it will end up providing IT literacy inside the government, outside the government. It will end up creating IT MSMEs. There are a lot of them who are attending today and yesterday also, IT MSMEs and IT SMEs, who will end up supplying computers, supplying printers, doing data scanning, data digitization, and slowly doing big data analytics, stuff like that. You will end up creating an army of IT literate people, IT MSMEs and IT SMEs. And when they will start growing, IT companies like HP, Microsoft, Intel will start looking to them as IT partners and start investing in them. It will start a flow of VCs, venture capitals, and the IT ecosystem will expand. So मेरा ये कहना है कि जो कबीर जी का एक दोहा है, कस्तूरी मन में बसे, मन ढूंढ और हम उसको हिरन जो है वो उसको ढूंढता रहता है, वो कस्तूरी बिहार के अंदर है, हम उसे ढूंढ लें. और हर डिपार्टमेंट अगर IT का यूसेज स्टार्ट करेगा, IT इकोसिस्टम अपने आप बनेगा. STPI को, CDAC को हमें रिक्वेस्ट करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, वो लोग हमारे पास भाग कर आएंगे. थैंक यू सो मच.
Yeah, if anybody has any question. Okay, I think nobody has any question. So I would like to thank you all. Thank you.
May I request our team and Monisha to please be here, and I will request our Deputy Secretary Kanchan ji of the Department of IT to give a token of appreciation to all our panelists. We can start with Monisha herself. She has flown all the way from Delhi to attend this session. Thanks, Monisha. Let me just say that Monisha was earlier at DIT and she understands both from government and private sector. Shailesh, yeah. Gangaji, thanks for being here. Excellent initiatives at your department. Atul, sir, I think his speech was amazing. As MD Beltron, he is the person who made last year's Bihar a success. And Sanjeevan ji, great initiatives at IT in education department. Thanks for being here, sir. Can we invite all the panelists in the front for a group photo? Can we also have Kanchan Kapoor ji on the stage?